Good morning, everyone. It's Cheryl and Jeanette. I hope that you, wherever you are, you're having a great day or about to have an amazing day. And I hope you'll join me because I think this is going to make it even better. So, today what we're talking about is abundance. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to get that tap flowing, how to be able to regulate it, what the difference between abundance and prosperity is, and what kind of blocks our abundance, what keeps it out there and away from us, or sort of hit or miss. So we're going to talk a little bit about what abundance means as well, and how to get more of it for you. So as you're coming in, whether it's live or on the replay, please say hello, and I'd like you to just tell me one thing that you feel that you're abundant in right now. So just jump in. Remember, when we're in the game of life, we need to play if we're going to get some rewards. I was always such an observer. I would sit back and watch a lot of videos. I'd watch people. I was just the observer, and I think there's a good place for being an observer in life at different times. Sometimes you just need to jump in and play. So I'm going to ask you to say hello. Say hello, give me some energy, give me some love, let me know what you're feeling abundant in, and let me know where you're from. So here we go. Abundance. First of all, I love the word, and I love words and I love numbers. So I want you to look at the word abundance. It's a dance. We're having an abundance, and it's a party. We're going to be in it, and we're going to dance with it, and we're going to play with it, and we're going to find all the love and light and delight in this place we call our life. So one of the things that I want to chat with you guys about is what the difference between abundance and prosperity is, because a lot of people confuse those two, and manifestation. So let's just get certain things really clear. Think of abundance like the universe. The abundance comes from the universe, and it's your everything. When you're abundant and you're flowing, your cup is full, it runneth over. All those sonnets are true. And that energy just flows in and out so naturally and easily, right? There are just no blocks, no distractions. Prosperity is part of abundance. So you can be abundant with things of monetary value. And it doesn't actually have to be a currency. It doesn't have to be money, but those tangible things that you hold on to, that's prosperity. So you can be abundant and prosperous, but you can be abundant in so many other things. So you can be abundant in love. You can be abundant in friendships. You can be abundant in just the good feelings you have and the giving that you have and in your values. So many things that you can feel abundant in. Hi, Lisa. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Miami, cool. Tell me what you're abundant in right now. And is it Cody? Hi, good morning. Merry Christmas. Finally got my tree up. Did it take you guys a little bit longer this year? So here's the other thing I want you to think about. And if you've watched any of my lives, I'm going to touch on this. You can be abundant in things that aren't so great. So you know, it's truly manifestation is how we co-create with the universe. Manifestation is what we call in. But sometimes we manifest because we're manifesting all the time, not just the good stuff. We're manifesting all the time. Sometimes we're just creating bad stuff too. We're calling in the stuff we don't want. And oftentimes we're manifesting by default, not by design. So, you know, when you're not paying attention, when you're not consciously manifesting, you're not calling it in, you're still creating with the universe and you're calling something in. So when you're manifesting something bad, you can also create abundance in stuff that's not so good, right? So that happens too. Say hello as you're coming in. I'm seeing a lot of great ladies coming in right now. And guys, if you're catching me on the replay or in another spot, say hello. Tell me what you're abundant in right now. Hopefully it's something good. But even if you feel like you're calling in an overflow of something that's not so good, like crazy stuff, it's like, oh, all these things just keep happening, call that out. Because here's the thing about anything we do, about manifestation, about abundance, creating abundance, about really dealing with any emotion that we have, because emotions are the language of the universe, and it's the way we feel has really important meaning for what's going on in our life. So how we're feeling, awareness helps us change that. Awareness of our thoughts. So truly we're in control of so much more than we think we are. Sometimes we feel like we're so out of control and things get really uncertain, and truly we have so much more control than we think we do. Oh goodness, I see someone from British Columbia. Good morning, Liberty. What a great name. Liberty, freedom. And abundance is freedom, isn't it? Prosperity brings you freedom. So money isn't everything, but it's a gateway. So if you're saying, I'd love to be abundant in money and see that money flowing in. We're all business women here in this group, so I'd like to be abundant with my clients or customers, or however that money kind of comes in and you're able to have an impact and do your best work. So you want to create that abundance. Now, here's the deal. Abundance and manifestation is a two-way street. So a lot of times, and this is important, guys, really pay attention right now. So if you're distracted and you're doing something else, just come back to me for a moment. Abundance, manifestation is a two-way street. It's a bi-directional conversation. We're having a conversation with the universe, and most of us aren't speaking its language. So there's the language to it. So there are a lot of things I can teach you about how to get our conversation, our calling in from the universe correctly. But the universe is also talking to us. So it's hard to hear, and sometimes we think we have to go to that person that's a psychic, or that person that has that gift, or that person that meditates all the time, and you're thinking, I just can't sit still. You think, you may believe that you can't hear the universe, but you can, and I'm going to tell you how. So let me start there. Let me start with how do we pay attention and listen to what the universe is telling us, and then I'm going to tell you a little more about how we can call it in and speak to the universe and what that language looks like. So hang in there with me. Or if you have to jump, just save this and you can always go back to it, because I'm going to give you some really juicy stuff. And I'm going to put some really good links in. I don't think I did before I left, but I have a toolkit that's pretty cool that will help you with some of this. So here's the thing. When we are listening to the universe speaks to us. First of all, one of the best ways to do this is to quiet your mind. And I know everybody wants you to meditate. I'm not a great meditator. I'm not one of those people that can just sit still for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes and not move. And I try, and most people would think I could, because people tell me I'm so calm, but truly underneath I'm kicking like crazy. And so I've had to learn this for myself. So one of the ways I do it for any of you guys that are like me is I literally start, when I say I quiet my mind, I literally start with the physical part of my mind. I see all these little muscles, and you can do it right now. You can actually feel it. You feel all the little muscles around your brain just start to relax, and almost like they're going slack. You can close your eyes and do this. I do this sometimes at night, and I just let those tiny muscles start to relax. And as I do it, I breathe. And as I breathe in, I breathe down into my core, down into my belly, almost like into the base of your spine. not into your chest, because when you breathe into your chest, that actually activates your fight or flight part of your brain. That part that wants to kind of keep your mind all crazy. But when you breathe past that, when you breathe deep down into your belly or down into the base of your spine, your parasympathetic nervous system relaxes, and you can get out of that fight or flight, and you can get all those little muscles around your brain to relax. And then you just ask for the universe to show you or tell you in one way or another whatever it is you'd like to know. Or you just pay attention to what the universe is trying to tell you, even if you're not asking. And things will start to come in. And the hard part about this is the trusting it. So we tend to not trust it. So part of that, and that took me a long time, I promise you it took me a long time, start to trust what the universe is telling you. A couple of other ways that the universe speaks to you. Do you guys ever see numbers? Do you see like 111 or 222 or 333 or 555 or whatever they are? It's just kind of a cool way that the universe can signal you. So when you start to see the numbers, like put in the chat, tell me some of the numbers you guys are seeing. So one of my friends years and years and years ago, like 30 years ago, and yes, I'm that old to say this, she said, okay, I can tell you up to the 5s, but 1s, make a wish, there's an energy gate. 2s, hold on. Oh, no, your miracle's right around the corner. Wait 5 minutes, your miracle's right around the corner. 3 is your angel number, so your angels are near. 4, your spirit guides are around you. 5 is hold on, big life change. And if you think about that 5, it's like a rocking horse, but it's going forward. So it's kind of unstable. It's rocking, which is change, right? But it's going forward. So it goes back a little bit too. It rocks. So sometimes change feels like that. It feels like we're going forward and back. But that's a big one. So if you're seeing the 5s a lot, whenever you see the 1s, just take a moment and make a wish and walk through those gates, because 1s are like the gate to walk through. And that's what the universe is trying to tell you. 6 are not a bad number. I know that there's all this mysticism around that, but they're actually a really good number. But I can't remember what it is. 7 has something to do with prosperity. 8 is the infinity number and the power number. That's a big one. 9 is a conclusion number. I wish I could give you something a little sexier with the 6s but 10 is huge, because 0, it's just a circle, right? It never ends. That's the divinity number. That's your God number. And when you put a 1, which is like that energy gate, the wish, with the 0, that's super powerful. And then when you see 1010 and all that, it's all magnified and amplified. But that's another way that the universe talks to you. Another way that the universe talks to you, but where we so often just miss it because we have our heads down, we're not in the game, we're not playing, say hello. Look at the time, it's 11:11. Oh my God. That is, oh gosh, you saw 1s and 11s. Okay, yeah, so you guys are in flow. So pay attention to that and smile when you see it, because you know that's the universe or God or whoever you want talking to you, your angels. Just smile and say, okay, message received, give me more. The other way I was just starting to tell you that the universe talks to you is in synchronicities. So, did you guys ever read the book, The Celestine Prophecy? I haven't read that book for years and years. That was sometime in my 20s also, but I remember that I got something from that and I incorporated it in my life, because I was always the observer. I was that shy girl that would sit back. I had like 0 confidence. I was a really good student. I knew I was a really good student. I knew I could pump out those A's, but I didn't have all that social grace. I didn't have boyfriends. I wasn't the popular girl, and I would just sit back and kind of observe everyone. I wasn't good in sports. And I'm actually pretty athletic. I just thought I wasn't good, so I wasn't good. Think it, therefore it is. And so I used to sit back and observe. And I remember after I read the Celestine Prophecy, I just thought it's time to get in to this game called life. It's time to really participate and not just be that observer. And so this is another way the universe talks to you through synchronicities. People will show up in your life. And sometimes you just need to stop and focus and pay attention. And we are so distracted in our life. It was terrible back when I was in my 20s and 30s, but it's worse now. Our attention spans are so short. And so when you can quiet your mind and put your intention on, I'm going to stop and pay attention. Right now, you might be saying, right now, for this period of time, I'm going to pay attention to what Cheryl's saying because she's got some messages I need to hear, and that's synchronicity. I'm here right now, whether live or in the replay, because I need to hear this. So raise your hand if you're feeling that right now. If you're like, this is synchronicity right now. I'm seeing some numbers. I'm feeling the synchronicity. I'm feeling like there's something I need to hear. And that's the universe talking to you. So pay attention and just let it in. Allow it to come in. You may not always know what it is. So that's another big lesson I learned, is to sit back and say, when I don't know, it's okay. I'm going to just let it come in and know that when I'm supposed to know, I just will. Or if I'm anxious and I want to know, I'm going to ask for it. I do that sometimes right before I go to sleep. I quiet my mind. I ask for it because when we're in our dream sleep, we're actually up there working with our angels and our spirit guides. So we're getting our answers. So sometimes I ask for it before I go to sleep. And hi, Tia. Hey, Connie. Yeah, good. So tell me what you're grateful for. Tell me what you're manifesting in your life right now. So those are the things, right? So the universe will talk to you through your own mind when you quiet your mind. And you can do that if you can meditate. You will do that anyway. And you can add this into your meditation practice just to actually think about the physical body and just softening and relaxing and letting those small muscles around your mind go, and your mind will start to clear. It's almost like you want to see that space in here clear out, because when I think about my mind, it's like, even though I'm super calm on the outside, it's like they're all just dancing like crazy inside. They're just like going off. It's like my thoughts never stop, and I have to just reel them back. And so I do that. Look at the numbers, look at things that people put in front of you. It's like things just show up, the right person, the right guide, the right mentor, the right information. Anytime, and I've jumped into some really high-powered, I was a senior executive. So guys, for those of you that don't know me, on the mind ethereal side, I am a hypnotherapist, and I'm in multiple modalities. So I work through multiple modalities of hypnotherapy, NLP. I'm an intuitive and an energy worker. That's the mind side. That's the spirit and mind side. I'm also an integrative nutrition health coach because I really believe in working with the physical body. But my background for more than 25 years, business strategy. I was an entrepreneur. I had a marketing agency. I was the president of somebody else's company, and I was a senior vice president, and both of those were billion-dollar companies. And so when I was working in those companies, especially the first one, oh my gosh, I jumped into healthcare, and I had no healthcare background, and I was a senior executive at this billion-dollar company. I had a seat at the table. And I was told when I was young, if you have a seat at the table, you have something to say. Meaning, remember I told you I was always that observer girl, I'd want to sit back. I was like, no, Cheryl, it's time to show up. Now, my approach was always to listen first, and I've always taught everybody, listen first. Seek first to understand. Remember Stephen Covey? Seek first to understand and then be understood. That was always powerful for me. So I'd always work to understand so that whatever I came back with, which sometimes changed based on that understanding, I'd have something to say. But what I was getting to with that is that when I would have things come on my plate that I'd never done before, which happened daily, and they were big things, and it was like the CEO would just say, Cheryl, we need this, this, and this. And I'd be like, okay, got it. And I'd go back to my desk and I'd think, okay. And I would just get really quiet and I'd say, that's okay, I've got this. I've got this, and everything I need is going to come to me as I need it. That doesn't mean I sat at my desk and did nothing. I made phone calls. I talked to people. You know, I put it out there. I would talk to one person and I'd say, this is what I need, and I would get it. Or someone would have an ungodly deadline and I'd say, that's okay. We're going to get that deadline. Here's what I need to do. And I'd just get it done. And that goes back to long before that. I raised $5 million for a company, had no financial background. And again, somebody just asked me to do it. And I said, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Actually, I had a few swear words in there like, oh, F, what the hell am I going to do? And then I thought, you know, at that time I was a single mom in business for myself. And I was like, okay, gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make this happen. They asked me. I said yes, so I'm gonna do it. So I showed up. So now we talked a little bit, guys, about how the universe talks to us. The universe talks to us through synchronicity. It talks to us in our mind if we'll listen, if we'll quiet our mind down enough and listen and pay attention and trust what it's telling us. It talks to us through numbers. And just pay attention. Get that book, Celestine Prophecy. It's a great book. How do we talk to the universe? This is easy and complex at the same time. You know, that's the paradox in life. Things can be two things at the same time. They can be simple yet complex. And so the simple part of that is if you think about something, if you have a really clear intention and you think about that and you take some inspired action, it doesn't have to even be a lot, but it's inspired because you have that intent, so you're inspired to do something. And you're clear and focused and you think about that, you can call that in. That's the simple part. The complex part is that there's sometimes, actually most of the time for most of us, there's stuff going on that gets in the way of that flow, and we aren't always speaking the universe's language. So those two things. And here's the thing about those blocks and limiting beliefs and fears that get in the way. They kind of get in that flow. Like you know, when I talk about turning on the tap for abundance, think about that literally like a tap. Did the pipes get clogged somewhere? Well, our pipes do get clogged. I think of this almost like if you have a fireplace and you're enjoying your fireplace, you're making fires, you're enjoying that warmth, you're living life. That fire is your life. You're living your life. And as that smoke goes up and the ashes go up into the chimney gets what? Dirty. And sometimes it gets clogged. So we still have to kind of do that chimney sweep. We have to actually do that often. So even though we might do a lot of work and clear out our limiting beliefs and our blocks and our fears, and I've spent my whole life doing this work, you guys, my whole life. Raise your hand if you're like me, just always working on yourself. And if you haven't, you're here now, you are. So you are doing that. But I'm always doing it still, and I always still reach out to other energy workers and hypnotherapists and guides to help me, because the teacher is the student and the student is the teacher. And I listen to my clients and I listen to my students because I do practice that. I listen to understand first. And then I always say to myself, ooh, what was I missing? Did I have any blind spots? Because we get those from our belief systems. Where are my blind spots? What am I not hearing? What am I not understanding? And I ask myself those tough questions. So, I'm going to come back to tune in later. Good. You bet. Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Lorraine. Amen to that. Yes. Okay. So you guys want to know a little bit more, and I want to see what kind of time I have. I have a manifestation toolkit, and it's just, I'm going to put it in the chat, and when I come back, I'll put it in the chat again. It goes through each of these steps. By the way, it's really inexpensive. I kept it really low cost, one of those $27 order offers that is really packed. And I did this because I really want to have everyone have the ability to have these tools in their tool chest. But here's the way that pipe gets clogged. It gets clogged through limiting beliefs. And our beliefs are changeable. So sometimes we think they're not changeable. We think that our beliefs are set in stone, but they're not. You know, you might believe that somebody is a really stuck-up person and they're just not your kind of person. And then you start talking to them and you get to know them and you realize they were just really shy. And they're just one of the most warm, kind-hearted people you've ever met, and they would give you anything, and all of a sudden your belief about that person changed, right? Or you might believe that you're the kind of person that nobody would listen to, and all of a sudden you finally get your act together and your courage up and you go live and people are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that with me. And you think, oh, I've got something to say and people want to hear what I have to say. And your belief changes about that, and it can change that fast. So beliefs and limiting beliefs, and beliefs create filters. So we see life through this filter of our beliefs. Remember I was talking, I always question that because I want to know what I'm not seeing. It's like you look at a scene and there's a big boulder there, right? And you say, there's nobody here, it's just nature. And if you walk 3 steps to your right, you might have a different perspective, and all of a sudden you see there's a couple of kids hiding behind that rock. So you need to be able to shift and see things from different perspectives. Then there are our thoughts. Now our beliefs feed our thoughts. So in the workbook, in the toolkit, and there are 5 workbooks. In the toolkit, I have a video lesson about this and a workbook for each of these. Our thoughts, our beliefs feed our thoughts. That's why I start there. So there's a certain order to this, and it's a really important order. And I always like to do this before the vision board, before creating that vision board, because once you get those blocks out, your vision board, it gets so much bigger and so much clearer and so much more abundant, because now we're talking about abundance, right? So I do these steps in a certain order. Our thoughts, remember I talked about my mind going like crazy? Our thoughts are nonstop, and some of them just come in and they go right out. They're flowing through, and they're so often connected to other thoughts. So you know that thought pattern, or thoughts get connected. You think about one thing and it leads you to think about something else. The patterns are like habits. So if we have bad thought patterns, those are habitual. So we need to figure out how to root those out and how to get rid of that habit and replace it with good thoughts. So in each of these, we don't only look at what beliefs or thoughts aren't serving us, we really decide what we want to believe and what we want to believe about ourselves, about our being good enough and strong enough and smart enough and capable enough. We want to believe, we want to think good thoughts. So if we're thinking, you know, I could never do this, I'm just not strong enough, I just don't have it in me, then you might think, well, I really want to think that I can do this. Remember I was telling you I just sit down and I would think, Cheryl, you've got this. I trained my mind to think that way. I could have just as easily said, oh, God, I can never do this. I'm about to fail. And I would have created that. So I created my success because I decided to train my mind for those thoughts. So you have to look at what's really there and accept where you are, but you decide what you want to believe, what you want to think, and then you do that with your self-talk. And your self-talk is so powerful. Can I say that again? Your self-talk, different from thoughts, is so powerful, you guys. You have a chatterbox in your head. And by the way, there are many voices. You talk to yourself in many different voices, just like in your life. Sometimes you're the daughter, sometimes you're the mom, sometimes you're the student, sometimes you're the teacher. And you have different voices for those. Sometimes you're the wife or the girlfriend. You have different voices in your head and different ways you think about things in those roles. And so you have your critical voice and you have your happy voice. You have your voice that's your best friend. So if this chatterbox is going on in your mind all the time, 24/7, Wouldn't you like it to be saying really supportive, loving things to you? Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts, guys. Tell me, wouldn't you like to be living your life with your best friend on board all the time? So in the Self-Talk Swaps workbook, we talk about that, and I love the love. And you also, I teach you some really cool swaps that have to do with how the universe and the language of the universe, how it listens and what it hears, because it is a different language, and there's so many juicy nuggets in this workbook. You're gonna love it. So then we get into what I call the sabotage beast. And by the way, if you join my group, and I'll put that link in, I just did a live called Slay the Saboteurs or Slay the Sabotage Beast. And there's a whole workbook in this about that. But we have these sabotage monsters in us, and they want to sabotage. They want to keep us blocked. There are things like fear, and I give them all stupid, funny, silly names. Fear-mongering Freddy. And I make him into a dragon, and we're going to slay the dragon. And we have experience zapping Ethel. She's the one that tells you you can't do it because you failed once before or somebody else did. And I'll tell you, all my great successes, you guys, they were because nobody told me I couldn't do it. I raised $5 million for a company with no financial background. Nobody told me I wasn't supposed to be able to do that. I started a leading healthcare magazine at a time where nobody was advertising, and turned a marketing center into a profit center, usually as a cost center, and made $1 million in addition for that company, besides saving them the $2 million in cost. So a net $3 million for this company with this magazine during a time where I'd never been a publisher. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be able to do that. And I was already publishing another magazine that had been losing money, and we made profitable. I didn't do those things because I had so much experience. I did those things out of intent and determination, but also because experience zapping Ethel wasn't on my back. She wasn't there telling me I couldn't do it. Nobody was telling me I couldn't do it. I wasn't telling myself I couldn't do it. You know, there's distracting Dan, and there's confidence zapping, I can't remember what I call her, Carmen. You know, it's that self-confidence. Oh, by the way, I have a great for the holidays with that kit. I've got a hypnotherapy recording called Confidence Now, and it is so powerful. It's amazing. And all you have to do is sit back and relax and listen to my voice, and it remodels your subconscious, because our subconscious is below the surface, but it controls 90% of our life. And I can talk for hours and hours on that, but I don't have time right now. And then we get to affirmations. So by this time you get to your affirmations, you have remodeled your beliefs and your thoughts and your self-talk, and you've gotten rid of the saboteurs. At least you've gotten that water running and flowing. And so now you create these affirmations where you're calling it, and I tell you also how to do those with repetition and with emotion, the feeling, because that's also so important in the language of the universe. Now, I'm running out of time. There's another hypnotherapy recording in there for relaxation, so that gets your mind nice and relaxed in your body, so you can let this abundance flow in. And you also have some done with you affirmations. I've actually done them in a way where you repeat after me, but there are these healing frequencies going on in the background that lift you up. And if you've watched any of my lives, I talk a lot about vibration, because remember when I talked in the beginning that you can bring in an abundance of things you don't want. You can manifest things or counter-manifest, bring in opposite of what you want. It's because you're doing it at a lower vibration. So if you are interested in the vibrational scale, it's free. Just put a me in the comments and I will send you the link for that. But basically, when you get into acceptance, you're looking at things, or above, you get into this expansive vibration. We're all energetic beings. We get lighter, we get freer, we get expansive, and then we're able to manifest and call in what we really want with the right language and getting rid of all that gook that's clogging the pipes. And then, but when you're manifesting in those lower vibrations, you could counter manifest. You could bring in more abundance of what you don't want. And I don't want you to do that. So get the vibrational scale. Just shoot me I'll get you that link. I'll put the manifestation toolkit in also. There's also a hypnotherapy recording you can get, and it's separate if you want it. It's really inexpensive. I think it's under $20, but it's how to find your life's purpose. And in this hypnotherapy recording, it's amazing because you actually go up. You get to go up and meet your higher self. You meet your higher self. It is an experience that is life-changing. So if it's resonating with you, if it just feels right, then I'll put that link in. Just put a me in. I'll get that over to you. You can take a look for yourself and see what it does for you. But remember, guys, abundance is a two-way street. It's a bi-directional conversation. And life is a game. You have to be in it. You have to be playing. Play full out. It changed my life. Stay aware. Look for synchronicities. Look for the numbers. Listen to what the universe is telling you. And then go through the toolkit. I'm going to be doing a manifestation challenge, so I'll announce that soon. It's only 5 days, and it's going to be really powerful. And that will give me more time with you, and it will be free, but more ability to really give you more of me and more of those tools, but actually work with you in the challenge to help you do it and to answer your questions. Okay, I'm seeing some me's, and if you're catching me on the replay, just put it in there. I always pay attention. I get your notifications, and anytime you guys comment, I will always respond. So I promise you that even if it gets overwhelming, I don't get overwhelmed. I just sit back and you know what I say? I've got this. Okay? So from now on, that's your mantra. Anything that comes your way, you just sit back and you go, that's all right? Because you're co-creating with the universe. You're not alone. You've got this. The universe has your back. You're on. You guys have an amazing day. I will be back next week. I think it's Friday. I wish I could be with you more, but if you join my group, I'll put that link in. I'm with you not every day, but almost every day I try to come on live. But I'm in there and I'm able to give you a little more. So I'd love you to join us in the Magnificent Manifestor group. So I'll put that in there. Hey, Sandy. Oh my gosh, I just saw that you came on. Okay, I am looking forward to seeing you guys. See you in the group.